be.
Welcome back, Coach.
Champs nameplate.
What's your champ nameplate, Steve?
I'd rather not get into that right now.
Thank y'all for coming out. I gotta go.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started with South Carolina Gamecocks, represented today by head coach Don Staley and student athletes Raven Johnson and Tina Powpow. Coach, if you would, please make an opening statement.
Super excited to play Indiana tomorrow. I know it's going to be a tough matchup. Terry always has her teams ready to rock and roll and competing for 40 minutes. Our team is up for the challenge, so we're excited to play here tomorrow afternoon.
Take questions just for the student athletes at this time. If you would, please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Let's start with on the right with David.
You mentioned getting to play Sydney again. Just what were some of those the memories of playing with her?
Good and bad memories throughout Oregon, but it was always fun with her and the squad I was with, and it's kind of a full circle moment. You know, we started at Oregon, and now we're gonna end our career here at our schools. So I'm just really excited to get it going. I'm excited to see her tomorrow, and it's gonna be a rematch, and it's gonna be really fun.
Let's go over to the left, Alan.
For each of you, what sticks out about that game Indiana played last year against you guys in Albany, and how close that got in the fourth quarter? Is there anything you can take from that into this year?
Tina, did you take that first place?
Well, we keep talking about the halftime dance routine we had with Raven and Camilla, and we was up big during that game, or during the first half, and so we just know that this year we got to be more disciplined. We're up big, and just be able to keep that mindset that we got to stay in all 40 minutes and just continue to be who we are.
Raven?
What she said, keeping the main thing.
Let's go to the middle with Pete, and then to the right.
For both of you, is how different does Indiana look this year compared with last year?
Raven?
I mean, they made it to the next round, so they got to be somewhat type of good. So, I mean, you got to bring our A game and just be us.
Tina?
They obviously had a dominant post last year, as we did as well, and we're two different teams this year. And so, I mean, we still have dominant posts as well, but we just got to play our game and be who we are and just continue to be disciplined throughout the 40 minutes that we play.
Second row.
Hey, Andy Mathis, USA Today. Obviously, Coach Staley has built up South Carolina's program immensely the past few years. What's it like playing on a team during such a monumental time in history for South Carolina basketball?
Tina?
It's great. I mean, you got to enjoy the process, the good and the bad, the ups and downs, but you still got to be consistent and look to your teammates, and it's a family atmosphere and culture that I love, I trust, and have so much confidence in. So it's been really fun, and I'm just, blessed and fortunate to be able to be part of this program.
Raven?
Pretty much what she says, a winning culture. When you come here, all you think about is all the trophies they have, honestly. So we just want to add on to it, honestly.
Let's go to the middle with Lulu.
Pat, I have a question for you about Raven. Yesterday, on the podcast, Raven said that she likes giving gifts better than receiving. I feel like that translates pretty well to who she is as a point guard. Could you just talk a little bit of what it's like kind of having her on the court in this critical time and how selfless she is setting up teammates for baskets?
Yeah, I know. I love Ray Ball. I mean, she's such a wonderful person to be with, wonderful person to play with, but not only is she a great woman on the court, she's also a great woman off the court, and she's very selfless. She's very genuine, and it's all love for her, and she just wants us to be great. And it's great to see when you have a point guard like that, and you want to run through a brick wall for her. And it's just something that we all love and cherish about her, and her fun spirit. And she just does a really good job balancing both things. And she's just a great player, great person, and I just can't wait to see where her journey takes her.
Go over here to Joe.
For either of you, the guards had one of the best games of their season yesterday, and it seems like the chemistry is really high within the unit. How do you guys keep that momentum rolling, within this next game and through the tournament?
Tina, would you take that first?
Yeah, no, it felt really good to see the ball go through the net, especially for us guards. We haven't been shooting the ball particularly well. So just seeing the ball go through yesterday for our first game out through the tournament, it's a great sight to see and a great feel to the game that we're going to have. And we just got to stay locked into practice. That's where everything starts, and we just got to translate what we practice to the game.
Raven?
Yeah, what Tahina said.
Other questions for the student athletes? Go back to the right.
Tahina, this one's for you. I know you just touched on it a little bit. Have you and Sydney Parrish stayed in touch at all, or have you guys talked before the game at all at any? I know you guys were college roommates, so.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a really good relationship. I've always wanted to see her be successful and be great, and it's just really cool to see, like I said, a full circle moment to see each other again and just compete against each other one more time.
Let's go to the back row.
Tina, I noticed you're wearing your hat from last year. Is there any significance to that?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I know that you're wearing the hat from last year. Is there any significance to that?
No, I just have a bad hair day. Even though I've been wearing it ever since we started the tournament.
Let's go back to front with Lulu.
Just a clarifying question on something that happened yesterday. Sydney had an and one, and you guys were scouting that game. It looked like, was she yelling to you? That's what Boyer thought, but I wasn't sure who she was making that yell to.
I think she got the N1. You know when you get N1, you're very competitive, and so you just yell, and then she spotted me, and then we started laughing and giggling. So it was kind of like a friendship moment type of thing.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, y'all can go. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll open up for questions for Coach Staley. Again, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you, David, in the front with the first one.
Dawn, it's my understanding that Lay likes to wear a fresh pair of sneakers every game. So it's kind of a two-part question. One, what does she do with all the old ones? And two, with Inner Soul and you being kind of a sneakerhead yourself, have you ever talked to her about, hey, you got to clean that out every once in a while?
I think Lay gives a lot of her sneakers away. Lay is such a shifty player that what she does in a pair of sneakers probably loosens them up to a point where she must like that tight feel. I was that tight where I needed a tight feel every time out. I don't have the assortment of sneakers that she gets. So no, I don't know what she does with them, but we like new sneakers. We don't like gently worn sneakers at Inner Soul.
Over here to Alan.
You said yesterday that last year's game was going to be at the top of mind. How much do you emphasize what happened in that fourth quarter and how close Indiana got to knocking you off with the players, or is it just they know what needs to happen differently?
So it's a little bit of both. I think it's we just had a film session just a few minutes ago, and the first thing we discussed was what happened last year. Coach Boyer asked what happened last year, and then they had a mouthful. So that's what we discussed. And I mean, they have the majority of the same team. So they'll if I'm them, I'm looking at what happened last year to see if we made an adjustment and we could connect a little bit better defensively and communicate a little bit better defensively. So we'll be prepared for it. Hopefully they won't knock down as many threes as they did in that fourth quarter to put us in a position where they just fought back and we had the claw to get the win.
Go in the middle, Pete.
Don, obviously you remember what it was like coaching your guys last year when they hadn't really fully accomplished things and were still learning there. Did this game with Indiana last year, was that a little bit of an eye-opener for them? Because it seemed like the rest of the tournament, you guys were a lot crisper and focused after that.
I think in any run, there will be challenges, some good and bad. I think I reflect on it, that was the challenge. And I think Oregon State was a challenge for us as well. The same type of actions caused us a little issues with people playing small ball and running our bigs off of flare screens, something that it's very difficult for any post player to guard. So, I mean, yes, I think it was a challenge, and it's etched in our minds that it's Indiana again. So hopefully we'll have a better outing and finish 40 minutes of a basketball game.
Jordan.
You mentioned last year your necklaces and the meaning behind them, and every day getting to look at them. Is it a similar story with your bracelets? And I'm just wondering, like, where those come from, and I guess also how many do you wear day to day?
A lot. I mean, I just, when young people give me the bracelets, I just immediately put them on. And I think Fagan counted them. I think I'm up to 28. Doesn't look like 28, but it's just, people customize it for me, and I figure I wear them until they break.
Go to Lulu in the front.
Yesterday, I was talking to Raven about basically how hard it is to be a point guard, especially in March Madness, and she was saying that basically her and Mouse have to be a mini you out there on the court. Could you just talk a little bit about that mental perspective of a point guard and what really goes into everything Raven has to do in March?
Yeah, when you really think about it, if anything goes wrong on the floors, I blame the point guards. Anything, if there's any kind of disconnect, miscommunication, and they could not have been involved in their interaction. But they're the people that have to really communicate. You communicate in huddles, you communicate in live play in real time, you communicate on both sides of the basketball. You're the connector, you're the link to what needs to happen for us to execute. But the work is done prior to March. It's done in the summer through now, and then it should just be par for the course when it comes to the type of situation that we're in, because it's habit forming. It should come to a point where you probably aren't talking as much because you're just so efficient with what people need to do. It could be a facial expression that really get your teammates to understand what they need to do. So I think it's a cool dynamic. Once it gets to March, it shouldn't be as much work. It should be just running as efficiently and as lean as possible.
Let's go in the third row.
Going back to the bracelets and the necklaces, is there any story that you can share that stands out to you with those?
I mean, the biggest story is, two of the necklaces that I wear are from one person, a young lady. Her name is Blakely, who is going through cancer treatments, and it gives me a perspective of, yes, we're preparing for, a second round game. She's probably preparing for, a second surgery or a 20-second treatment. So it helps give me perspective. The other one is a young man that I met here at the Children's Hospital who suffers from sickle cell. So I had a cousin that passed away from sickle cell. So it gives me perspective on what we're doing, where we are, and really, for us, although we think it's our world, it's our passion, it's what we do, it really is just basketball when you put it in perspective of what other people have to go through, and not just the young people that are stricken with those type of diseases. It breaks down an entire family. Like it changes your family. If you have siblings, every energy is going towards healing that sick sibling, that sick child. So I do have some empathy for what they go through, and if it helps me to stay empathetic, I'm going to wear them.
Other questions for Coach? Seeing none? All right,
Perfect.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.